All right, we got our new to us 2013 LR4 in the garage. So this is basically my first inspection of from the bottom. We'll check the steering, brakes, suspension. I want to change the engine oil, get a new filter in there, and go through and check all the lights and just go through, make sure it's safe and reliable to drive. And we're also going to solder those wires up that we spliced together on our initial troubleshooting. All right, let me get this thing up on jack stands and we'll get started getting that oil drained. All right, I got Luke down here. Help me do the oil change on the 2013. So we would normally pull the drain plug and do this, but we just spent the last 30 minutes or more having to pump it out with that thing right there, an extractor with a line hooked up to the dipstick. We got about 7.5 quarts out. The drain plug on the oil pan was rounded off, and we put a vice grip on there, and I put a lot of torque on it trying to turn it, and it wouldn't even budge, like almost as if somebody's welded it in or put some JB weld. I'm wondering if it was leaking and they put it in there. I can't imagine they got it that tight without stripping it out. So I don't know. I didn't force it too much more. There's not much left of the drain plug, so we decided to use the extractor. We got 7.5 quarts out. We're going to put probably 7 quarts in, and we'll check the gauge. We're just putting in mobile 5W20 is what was in it before. That's probably good, Luke. And then yeah, so unfortunately that's kind of a bummer. I put some heat on the drain plug, or quite a bit of heat, and it still wouldn't budge. So we're gonna let it sit for a minute, and then we'll check the gauge on the dash, see if it shows full. Like I said, I don't want to overfill it. I'm not sure how much you actually get out with that siphon, and I'm guessing if this one was a quart low, that makes sense. But while we're waiting for that to drain, we're going to go ahead and solder in these 2 connections here that we fixed the other day. Get that soldered in, and then we'll continue our inspection of the vehicle, but just give you guys an update. All right, let me get these solder connections and we'll get you guys updated. Okay, so we ran it for a couple minutes, checked for leaks. Now we're going to let it sit and we'll check the oil. I think you got to let it sit for at least 10 or 15 minutes on that electronic gauge. So pulled the driver's side rear wheel off. So before I unbolt the wheel, I turn around, I just kind of move the wheel, the tire and wheel assembly to see if anything's loose. Could be a bushing. There's a tie rod back here, right there, that can get worn. This one felt fairly tight. I don't feel anything. Then I'll check the brakes. But when I put my hand on here, but they're wore down pretty good. There's a groove on this, a groove here. I'll check the front. They're not super flat. Got some ridges, like previous brake pads have dug into it pretty good. I'm thinking I might replace the rotors and pads on this, and then we'll bleed the brake system, change the brake fluid as well. Let me pull that flat front one. That's the only thing I'm seeing right now. You can get up in here, take a look at your lift arms, make sure. Sometimes if it's aftermarket, they'll have rubber bushings here that get loose, and you'll have play. Like you almost can see a little bit of play on these. That can cause issues with your sensors. I don't think these will. They don't feel that bad. He did have lift rods on this before, so that's why you can see some residue on there. That he just used some WD-40 type lubricant to help get the lift rods on and off. So not worried about that. This is your rear air suspension control solenoid valve. So that's where if you need to rebuild that at some point. Everything else looks okay. I checked my CV joints, boots, make sure they're not torn. No fluids leaking at anything. I did look underneath real quick, and it has a metal pan on it, so it's not the original transmission pad. So the fluid's been changed at least once. I'm still going to change it. At least now I know I don't have to get a metal conversion pan. I'll just got to get the filter and the oil, and we'll change it and a gasket. So, all right, let me get that front axle. Oh yeah, you want to check your sway bars links. Remember, on my daughter's, one of those broke. These look fine. Let me get the front tire off, and we'll take a look at those brakes. All right, go for it, Luke. Oh. All right, so I got Luke moving the tire side to side like you'd steer it. And I don't know if the microphone will pick it up. Go for it, Luke. So that's the tie rod. So I'm looking on the outside tie rod, and it's nice and tight when he does it. Go for it, Luke. So it's not that one. It's actually the inner tie rod coming off the rack steering wheel. So it's only on one side, the driver's side, but that tie rod's wore out. So we'll plan on replacing those. I probably replace, since I'm doing it, I'm going to replace both sides, both inner and outer. If one's wore out, the other one's probably not far behind it. And then on the front, we're also looking for the CV axles. And I also noticed there's some residue there. So this says the original vacuum pump on it. And looks like it's leaking. So I'll plan on replacing that. Probably do it on the next oil change, just because if I pull it out right now, you'll lose about 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts of oil. So I'll run it till the next oil change, and we'll change it out and just replace that. That'll make for a good video. So what else? Got some other residue, but it might be from that vacuum pump. It tends to leak all down on this stuff. So we'll get that changed out. Just little things. Those are things that are notorious to leak. They have an updated design. So let's get this wheel off. We'll check the front brakes, and then the inspection will be pretty much done. Everything else looks pretty good. All right. Got the front wheel off on the driver's side. Same thing. This is really uneven all the way across. Almost feels a little raised there. You can feel some old grooves in it. And it's been eaten away for a while. So, and then the pads are wore down. You can barely see anything in there. If you look right in that crack, you should see a thickness of the pad. There's nothing there. So we're going to order new pads, new rotors, and especially it's the wife's car. So I want to make sure she's all ready to go for. And then that's it. New tie rods. We'll do both inside and out. And so a couple things on our test drive that we noticed is this the alignment's a little off. It kind of drifts to the left, which isn't surprising. And then when you brake, there's times where she wants to pull just slightly to the left, driver's side. And then there's times where my wife said she'll feel some pulsating. So after she's driven it for a while around town, she'll feel a little bit of pulsating. And then I noticed it today when I drove it. You'll start towards the end of the drive, after you've done some braking in town and stuff, it'll start pulsating. So I'm guessing might be some slight warpage in the rotors, which in our area, a lot of mountain driving, so the brakes tend to get overheated pretty easily. So another thing that I check is the tires. Even if they have tread on them, you never know. See if it comes out in the camera. You can see this cracking in here. So that's just age of the tire causes that. And depending on your climate can make it accelerate it. So all the tires are cracked like that. They are worn. We knew that. So we're going to get some tires. Got it narrowed down to 2 types. There's a Bridgestone tire that I'm kind of impressed with, and obviously the Toyo. Those are the only 2 companies that I found so far that make or sell a 255 55 20, which is about an inch taller than the factory size on these. So okay, so what we're going to do now is just check the lights. All right, so basically all the lights are working except for this one, so we can check that out. One thing we did notice is this washer sprayer isn't clipping in properly, so I'm going to end up pulling this bumper off. I need to readjust these lights because they're loose, and then we'll check to see why that one's not working. So, pretty cool. But all the lights are working except for we got license plate light out, third brake light out. All right, so I just sprayed down the engine and under hood with some degreaser. So did an oil change on it, so we're gonna clean it and then we'll do some more services to it. It's not too bad, but it'll just make it easier to work on, nicer to work on, I should say. So I like to clean my engines usually after every oil change. I'll do a degrease hose down, and a couple reasons. It's nicer to work on a clean engine, and if there's a leak, you can find it. If there's damage or problems, you can find it easier than trying to trace it back. So there's still the bottom side that probably needs to be cleaned, but this at least get the top. And from there, after that, we can pull it in the shop and we'll probably change spark plugs, air filters, transmission service, front and rear drive lines. There's a few things I'm gonna wait on. The tie rod ends are on order, so we'll get those lined up. But right now we're waiting. We're gonna swap some tires and wheels around and continue on that. All right, let me hose this engine down. You wanna do this when the engine's cold. You don't wanna have a hot engine and spray water on it. You can cause some problems. Once I spray it down, I'll either drive it or run it until it gets up in temperature and kind of heats up and evaporates that moisture off, so you don't have any water pockets sitting there rusting. So, all right, let's get this cleaned up. All right, we got it all cleaned up. Looks a little better. So I'll just get it, I'll run it for a little bit, get it warmed up. And then we're pulling this in the shop, so like I said, plan to change spark plugs, air filters. Transmission fluid and filter, we have one in stock, so that's nice. We have everything we need to get in stock to get started on this, except for tie rods and brake rotors and brake pads. Tie rods are on order, so as soon as they get in, and then we'll be able to get it all ready to go. Probably pull this front cover off too, so we can take care of these lights. You can see how this is a lot of adjustment, and we need to fix that. So once your washer squirter, figure out why that one's not working. So just to kind of recap, obviously we got an issue with the oil drain pan. Just inconvenience. We can still do what we need to do with it. We still continue to drive it. We got the oil changed so my wife can drive it. We're gonna get some tires on there. Before I get new tires on there though, I want to address the tie rod, replace both front tie rods, do an alignment. I'm gonna do a DIY alignment on it. I try to do a video on that, and then change tires out, and then obviously the brakes. We're gonna do all 4 rotors, all 4 brake pads, and that will get it all safe to drive on the road. Biggest thing is safety. We'll fix the lights that aren't working. One thing I did notice, again, the vacuum pump is leaking oil, but also it looks like the rear main seal is leaking slightly. Not a lot, nothing concerning, but eventually I want to address it. So at some point I'll probably plan to pull the motor, drop the oil pan and fix that drain plug, and then also put new front and rear main seals in there and fix any other leaks that we find along the way. But you know, you got to drive it, figure out the things that you may not have noticed on your first test drive. There's going to be things, little quirks. When winter time comes, we did test the seat heaters, so they work. The air conditioning works, all that good stuff. So we'll just get it so it's safe. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.